iLadies Chat on the Midday Connection. The views and opinions expressed in this feature are those of the guest or the listener and do not reflect the views of Gagasi FM.
Yes, welcome to iLadies Chat. Of course, we have conversations with different people. And of course, namhlanje we're joined by spiritual and relationship coach Zamalinda Xulu. Good afternoon, Zamalinda. Uyaphila mfethu?
Yembose ngiyaphila mfethu njani man?
Can't complain, mommy.
That's good.
Can't complain. Ngithi mina namhlanje mfethu sikhuluma indaba October rather ngiqale lapha is breast cancer month, right?
Absolutely.
It's breast cancer month awareness, and of course we're just shining a spotlight on the importance of people making sure that they get checked, the importance of people getting support, the importance of people really being educated, about what's happening in and around the conversations around breast cancer. But from a psychological perspective, I want to know what women go through in terms of the experience of being diagnosed. That gets diagnosed with breast cancer. What happens to them psychologically?
So, I appreciate the fact that we can have this conversation about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but a lot of times, as with any life-altering diagnosis, there's always that initial shock and fear, right? Of the unknown, what's coming. And sometimes you've heard about chemo and the effects of it. So it's all of that. It's the emotional turmoil that comes. It's the being overwhelmed with sadness and grief. There are women, for instance, who find themselves having to make big decisions very quickly, maybe that they were not even ready to make emotionally before, whether it's about fertility, child caring or childbearing. So suddenly these things feel very urgent because you've now got this diagnosis that is now facing you. So yeah, there's just many other things that it makes women go through.
Sure. And like the effects of it, I can imagine once you are diagnosed, the effects on your self-esteem, on your confidence, the way you buga afterwards, how can one begin to realign themselves and not really identify with what they're going through and really stay true to who they are?
So, when people go through chemo, there's hair loss. Sometimes women have to go through a mastectomy, which is the removal of their breast, or hysterectomy, where they have to remove right?
Yes.
So again, if you look at those things, those are things that we pride ourselves as women in. With our ability to be able to give birth to kids. Your breasts are like it's just this beautiful femininity, right? But all of a sudden, you've lost control of your body, and what that can mean is the impact it has even on your roles, your relationships with different people,
self-esteem, confidence.
Because I never even knew which women the cup sizes are all important to different women.
Really,
right? Like stuff like that, and so it has a huge impact. There's fears about how the physical changes can even affect romantic relationships, your ability to function in intimacy, how your partner sees you. So that women go through in terms of navigating that space. And I like the second part of your question, Khaya, how does a person then navigate that process? It's important you realize you are more than all of these things, right? You are a human being first, and obviously the importance of one's health, but also it's important you must normalize the feelings that I am scared, I am frustrated, I'm hurt, and I'm sad about the fact that I'm losing these things that actually mean so much to me. I think sometimes Abantu will try to encourage you, but in the effort to try and encourage you, they almost dismiss the things that you are processing and going through as the person going through the situation.
Zamalinda right here on Gagasi FM. We are with iLadies Chat, and namhlanje ke still in a conversation that's really, really, really emotional. I guess I'm say to almost boy.
iLadies Chat on the Midday Connection.
The emotional effects of breast cancer. So diagnosed as Zamalinda, partner yakho ngilunga lomndeni. What role can I play in supporting you get to a recovery journey yakho? Where do I start?
Hey, I think support is one of the biggest parts of helping people process. I think, one, we have to also read the person that we are supporting, know what their needs are. Sometimes we ask people, how can I help you? But to talk to them about themselves, they don't even know what they need. So I think support can look like many different ways. Okay, I'll give you some ideas. Logistical support, offering to take the kids for extramurals, or let me take Abantwana to the park to play so that the person who's battling the disease has a chance to rest. recoup. Some people will even, make like a care bridge website. You know how people do wedding websites?
Yeah.
There's what they call care bridge websites, where instead of the person who's actually going through the breast cancer having to constantly give updates, that's the website where one person is constantly giving updates to close family and friends about how they can be of support. And so it just gives the person providing respite for the person. Can I just come over and sit with you? I'm going to the shops. I'm going to be getting some groceries. Send me your list that I can help you figure that out. Tangible help. What can I bring for you? What can I drop off some food? I made more food than necessary. Can I drop off some food for you and your family? So you are helping them to take care of the basic things that they might have been able to take care of when they had the energy to do it. But manje abasenayo le energy, and you are able to come alongside them and be a source of support.
But our personalities wabantu awafani.
Yes.
Some people can't communicate when they need help.
Yes.
Some struggle. But what can we say to that person? Osegule simo njengamanje, mhlawumbe not even know where to start to ask for help.
That's why I was saying, Guti, it's important, Guti, sometimes in trying to help, we'll say, how can I help you? But when I, as a person who's wanting to help, observe the situation, observe the needs, and then offer opportunities for helping, and then come alongside the person. It's very hard to ask for help. Go normal. To be, because it's a vulnerable place to be, needing somebody else's help, especially if you are very independent and you're used to handling stuff yourself.
Yeah.
So I just think it's important for your support structure to be aware of what your needs are and to think about how can they come alongside you. Like I said, if muntu nabantwana, offer to help with the kids. If it's meals, if it's driving the person to their treatments, because you ask it's going to be a very difficult thing coming from a treatment. So it's small things like that make a big difference in a person's life. Like for me, I love sending people my prayer voice notes, just letting them know, you're not alone, right? What are the things that can anchor you? Some people, faith is able to reframe fear into faith, right? And so they'll recite verses or sending them scriptures that might be on for encouragement in those moments. So there are small and big things that we can do to help.
And maybe the other thing that I'm thinking about is that the dynamic of, intimate relationships change.
Yeah.
How does one begin to navigate that conversation? They're weaker, they no longer feel they can be active anymore. The other partner is feeling frustrated now, although they need to be understanding of the situation. What advice would you give them in terms of re-navigating and remapping a relationship?
So I think that's such a crucial part of, especially with people who have partners, the intimacy, figuring out what does that look like anew, because there's a lot of fear, there's anxiety, there's insecurities. Like I said earlier, if umuntu, for instance, who says suswe amabele, that's obviously going to affect the way that you guys engage in your intimacy. So it's figuring out, how do I offer affection without the pressure of something more, right? How do we talk to each other, making sure that we are all talking about our feelings, what we are thinking, and creating a safe space for us to be able to navigate the relationship together. Sometimes people might even make use of a sex therapist to help them re-engage their intimacy and how they can re-engage it anew. Treatment sometimes can even cause dryness kumuntu wesifazane. Right? So even that, like having to navigate what that might look like and what methods and what new things can we try, can we explore, so that we continue to fight. But I think the biggest thing is always making sure that we are communicator as partners, we are making sure that we are putting systems in place that help us to have, like for instance, umuntu mangabe energy yakhe ispikile on that particular day, being able to say, hey, let's plan that whenever you have a high energy situation on that particular day, let's plan for intimacy to occur, because it's not always going to be like that.
iLadies chat on the Midday Connection.
So futhi sacela ukubuza mina ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi mhlambe bangabe umuntu ufuna ukushintsha something, mina nginenkinga, nginenkinga akazi kwenzeka kanjani, so nje manje ke ngithi akazi noma i-natural lento ngoba neziboya eziningi kakhulu engajwayelekile, angazi noma ufuze noma yini noma ngakhona ukusizakala. Ngiyabonga bafethu.
no mesegeja kancane, but I think it's along the lines of introduce kanjani into entsha from the norm, you know. Mhlawumbe usuphile kanje. Now how do you rope in ushintshe introduce ezinye izinto ngoba sekisimo mhlawumbe sempilo sesiyashintsha from what is normally nature to you.
Yes. So again, I think it's important to engage external help. Sometimes we have to engage there are people who go to spiritual advisors in their churches. There are people who see a therapist, who might look for a counselor. But I think it's important, anytime there's a shift that's happening, which is going to happen a lot as life happens, right? You find people that can help you navigate those spaces, but also recognizing it's a we problem. It's not just a her problem. So being able to go to, like, even my medical teams omuntu ophila naye nikwazi ukuthi ni consult nobabili together, so that you are hearing information first hand together. Niyakwazi ukunavigate le information enizwile, nikwazi ukuxoxisana ngeinformation enizwile, bese niyathi okay sizokwenza kanjani ukuthi sithole usizo ukuthi silungise isimo esiphila kusona, and make sure that all of our needs are met in the process.
I guess this is a conversation that can't just end namhlanje, because it's an ongoing conversation. We'll try and, expound on it as much as we can, and maybe get people to tell their stories that have been struggling, and see the kind of, and shout out people that have been supporting them as well. But yeah, I think we'll have to open this conversation up a bit more. So thank you so much, Zamalinda.
The views and opinions expressed in this feature are those of the guest or listener and do not reflect the views of Gagasi FM.
Gagasi FM.